What's going on, family? It's your boy Jonathan Duong, and we want to go back to the basics today. What is wholesaling land, right? So, if you don't know, I've been wholesaling land, flipping land, subdividing land for the last 5 years now. Continually growing in the land space, trying to learn different exit strategies, entitlements, manufactured homes, just different ways that I can utilize and the highest and best use for land in general, right? So I want to go back to the basics today. What is wholesaling land, right? So wholesaling land in simple terms is there's three parties involved, not including the title company, but we'll get to that. There's a buyer, there's you, the middleman, and there's a seller. So for example, the buyer is probably going to be a builder, and let's say they can pay 80,000 for a 10,000 square foot vacant lot, right? You know that you have this information to the buyer, and now you're able to search for sellers that will sell under that 80,000. Let's say 70, for example. So basically what you're doing is you're going to go ahead and start to find sellers that own land in the buyer's target market. You're going to use that criteria and information to start hunting and reverse engineering, right? So for example, you can reach out to a seller, offer them 70,000 knowing that your buyer will pay 80,000. A lot of questions I get is, do you have to have the money to actually do this? And the answer is no. So when you send a contract to the seller, there's a clause in there that says that you can assign it, meaning you don't have to buy it, you just have to know somebody that will buy it, right? So if you get a contract signed with the seller and it's assignable, then you could go ahead and send an assignment contract, which is a different document, to the buyer, and you can send it to them for 80 to make what's in the middle, right? So you don't have to have the money. You don't have to buy the vacant lot outright. That's land flipping. We're talking about wholesaling, where you don't have to have the capital, and then you make what's in the middle. So for example, let's say you have that builder at 80. You start to reach out to sellers, make offers for 70. They're like, no, I want, 90, I want 100,000. And then you start to keep marketing, which is part of the seller side. Big part of the business. It's the main part of the business, marketing. And finally, you get somebody to say, hey, you know what? I will sell for 70, right? You send them the contract. Once it's executed, you have the rights to buy the property and or assign it. So once you have that, you send it to your buyer. Then you let them know, hey, I got this at 80,000, like you asked. You send them the assignment of contract. They sign it. Now you got an agreement with the seller at 70. You got an agreement with the buyer at 80, and you make what's in the middle, which is 10. So once both of those documents are executed, the seller contract and the assignment contract with the buyer, you send that to the title company and they will do their work. They'll start the title search, the lien search. They'll make sure the property's free and clear, so there's nothing wrong with, changing hands with the title from the seller to the buyer, right? And in the meantime, when that's going on, you still got responsibility to reach out to the seller and keep them updated. And same thing with the buyer. Hey, just to let you know, title search is going. Once we get an update, I'll let you know. If you have any questions, keep me posted, right? Same thing on the buyer side. Hey, everything's good. Usually they have a relationship with the title company. If not, the title company will do this on your behalf as well. It's just something that we take responsibility to do so we can make sure that, all the parties involved are updated. So once that's going on, there's a couple questions, right? There's like, where do I get my contracts? Things of that nature. I wholesale land in Florida, so I use the standard vacant land contract for the Florida, the basically FAR bar contract. Now you can have your own agreement. It might be a one-page agreement that's very simplified. There's so many different ones, but you can keep it simple and just kind of use the original one, which is what I do. But I know when you're working in different states, for example, you want to have a universal contract that you can use for all different states. So it just depends, but it's not something to dwell over. You can find the contract and you can get moving, right? Same thing with the assignment. Certain builders have their own assignment of contracts. So when you speak to them, you want to clarify this. Do you have a certain assignment you want to use? Do you have a certain title company you want to use? Are you open to using my title company? Do you want me to send you the assignment, or do you want to send it to me? But all this stuff is learned along the way. So you don't have to learn everything at once. You learn as you go, right? The first main objective is to take action. And once you take action, you start to learn different ways, different buyers and builders, and how to overcome these things, right? So knowing this, you want to keep moving forward and keep marketing, right? Keep finding buyers and builders, and you're able to start connecting more pieces together. If you have one builder, they need 20 lots a month, that's amazing. But if that builder slows down, what are you going to do next, right? So a lot of people in 2025, things got really slow and they weren't able to adapt. Their main system was reaching out to national buyers and builders, D.R. Horton, Holiday Builders, all these big builders, and they're big players. They'll ask for 30, 40 lots a month, even more, even less. But sometimes they slow down. Their prices go down, their new builds aren't selling, and they're not as active in the market. And there's different seasons for all businesses. We know this, right? The economy, there's booms and busts, bear markets and bull markets. So we need to understand that as well. So I love to study macroeconomics just to keep myself up to date and in tune with what's going on with the economy, right? But going back to wholesaling land, that's basically what it is. There's three parties: a buyer that's looking for land, you that knows how to find land, and a seller that owns the land. And because you, the person that knows how to find land, is able to find land at a discounted price, you're able to get paid by the end buyer that is looking for land. So it's just like Walmart, for example. They wholesale stuff to us. They get it cheap, let's say from out of the country, from China. They might get something for a toothbrush for $1, and they might sell it us for 10, right? They might get toilet paper for cents and they sell it to us for a couple dollars. So the wholesale model is a business model in all aspects. I know people that wholesale cars. I know people that wholesale laptops or iPhones or let's say apartment buildings, right? I pick land. Some people do houses. Some people are in the real estate niche, or some people are in different niches, right? So you just got to understand what the business model is so you can create a foundation on how to grow this if you wanted to, right? If you want to do a couple deals, you can do this by yourself, right? It's not easy, but it's simple, right? It's simple. You have a buyer, you know who your end buyer is, you know how to find the product, and you know who owns the product, right? So you can get it at a better price. And then you just keep repeating, rinse and repeat, and then you start to scale and grow. So understanding this, family, you don't need the capital to wholesale land. You just need to know how to find deals, right? And as you start to close deals, then you might want to build a team, hire a VA, depending on what your goals are. Everybody's vision is different, right? Me, I only have a team of one right now, me and one VA. And the numbers we're doing is such a blessing, right? So understanding that you just want to continue to build off of this foundation. Once you start to close deals and you learn the process from A to Z, and you do it a couple times, then you can figure out what do you want to do next. But the main goal is to get that first check with your name on it. That's the proof of concept that'll totally switch your paradigm, right? It'll shift your mindset like, whoa, this is real, right? I remember that in 2020, closed my first deal. I made $3,000, but that was the only income I made for the whole 2020, $3,000. But what was such a blessing was I had a check with my name on it, and it was a proof of concept that this does work. So wholesaling has been my bread and butter. I still do it, not as much as before. I flip land, I subdivide land. I'm trying to get into entitlement. So if you guys know somebody or you guys do entitlements yourself, I'd love to learn. Contact me. I'm trying to get into development, manufactured homes, so many different niches and stuff like that. But my bread and butter has always been land, wholesaling land and flipping land. That's what provides me income till this day, keeps the lights on, keeps me able to take care of myself and my family and friends and be at service to others, right? So wholesaling land, don't complicate it. 3 parties, you know what the buyer is paying, you reverse engineered $80K, you know how to find land, and then you start to reach out to sellers, right? Offer in 70, 75, it doesn't matter. As long as it's below the 80, you'll be able to make what's in the middle, and that's okay if it's $1,000, $500, $2,000, and then it could get as big as 25, 30, 50, $100,000. So it just varies on your niche, your markets, and your marketing strategies, which is a whole different video. I just want you guys to understand what is wholesaling land. You see these videos, you see these shorts. people may portray it in a certain way, but I just want you guys to have the information to know if this is something you want to pursue. There's great money, of course, but there's so many ways to do this. It doesn't have to just be real estate. Just understand this business model of supply and demand. You know what the demand is, you know what the buyers want, you know how to find the supply at a better price, and you can make what's in the middle, and then you can scale that business model, family. So Wholesaling Land 101 with your boy Jonathan Duong. If you have any questions, any video ideas, comment below. I'd appreciate it if y'all subscribe. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to take my time out the day to be at service to y'all, and I'll see y'all on the next one, family. Peace.